Welcome to Delegation of Dreamers. Why do you have popcorn, Ro?
It's not popcorn, it's chips.
Ooh, can I have some?
Sure.
All right.
What am I going to do with you? I believe we have... I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Yeah, I'm Michael Scarn.
I recognize that name from somewhere.
Yeah. It's similar to a name from a popular book series called The Court.
I see.
Michael Scarn, how are you today?
Pretty confused. Where am I?
You're in the world of dreams.
Yes, you're just having a dream. Nothing unusual.
Nothing suspicious here whatsoever, we swear.
Okay. I guess I've had weirder dreams.
Many have.
Would you like to tell us where you're from?
Well, I'm from Waterdeep, originally. You know, pretty cool place. I lived on the streets for a while, and then I got really tired of doing that, so I decided to go search for adventure. So now I'm in Barovia and can't get out.
How come you can't get out? Have you been captured?
Well, I have been captured in the past, and I kind of am captured. There's this evil vampire lord who likes to draw adventurers into his domain and then, play with them for a while and eventually murder them.
That sounds vaguely familiar, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder you're having such a vivid dream if that's your...
You need
that's
some
your
type of escape.
awakened time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dreams are so much fun. Sometimes I get to meet with my good friend, Xantras. He's helping me out.
Who's Xantras?
Xantras. Is it the one connected to that dagger of yours?
Oh, it is, yeah. He's helping me get power over others and stuff. Michael removes from his satchel that he's wearing a ornate dagger studded with rubies and crafted beautifully.
And you said that was connected to Santalos?
Xantras, yeah.
Xantras.
The Kingmaker.
How did you come about possessing such a dagger?
Oh, I just woke up one day and it was in my bag.
Huh.
Sounds convenient.
So you
Yeah.
were chosen by this probably deific figure.
Yeah, I guess so. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's actually really nice. What have they had you do so far? Did they ask you for anything in return for the dagger, or...?
Oh, not really. I've just murdered a person, and I'm trying to dethrone another group of people, and kind of have shaken up one of my friends a little bit, but that's fine. He needs a break.
What
He
I'm
doesn't need
hearing
to
is-
lead all the time.
Yes. What I'm hearing is that you have the basic adventuring down. Every good adventurer has to shake things up a bit.
Exactly. Political assassinations are normal.
Yes. I haven't partaken in one myself that I'm at liberty to talk about.
Oh, you should. They're so much fun.
So many questions, so few answers. Tell us a bit about yourself. How did you come about wanting to become an adventurer? What about it lured you to its awesome wiles?
Well, you see, my older brother, the real one, actually was a bit of an adventurer himself. He was a sailor. One day, every time before he left, he'd always talk to me about what he was gonna do, and whenever he came back, he'd tell me what he did and like all the wild things that happened out on the sea. And he'd always bring me back some little trinket or thing. And it was really cool and awesome. Osborne was so cool. But then one day he just didn't come back from his adventures. And then, that was sad. Mom and Dad were really down because their son died. And after they died, some turd face came in and pretended to be Osborne, tricking the Arbiter of the Will into believing that he was Osborne. And then I was kind of out on the streets for a while, surviving off of the kindness of strangers and theft. I didn't say anything.
No judgment here.
This imposter, did he have the face shaped like a turd?
No. But His breath kind of smelled like one.
No,
And that was similar to your real brother's breath.
No.
So why
My-
did they think he was your brother?
Well, he looked pretty similar.
Not like a turd.
No, not like a turd. You
Yes, I
get
believe it's
people's
a-
faces confused with turds?
No, I think he's confused about the figure of speech that you were using.
Ah, I see.
anyway, so your brother went off, never returned, and
Yeah.
presumably dead. What about the imposter made you realize they are not your brother?
Well, for one, he was acting mad sus, bro. And for two, he didn't look exactly like Osborne. There were some key differences, and he didn't talk the same way.
Mad sus, bro.
Mad sus, bro.
I will have to
Indeed.
remember that one.
Oh no, you're adding to his arsenal.
Uh-oh.
So you were the only one who recognized that he wasn't your brother.
Yeah, I did recognize that he wasn't my brother. He was a real stinker.
Have you managed to clear your family's name?
No, not yet. But when I get back to Waterdeep, I'm going to murder him.
Interesting solution.
Make
Inventive, I'll
sure
give you
you
that.
make it look like an accident, though.
I'm pretty good at murder. Don't worry about me.
Oh, I'd prefer you don't encourage him.
So it's an imposter. You have to remove imposters.
Exactly.
I think he's got enough encouragement.
Do you have any associates that are helping you?
Oh yeah, I have some great friends in Barovia right now. We got Elfer. Elfer is probably my bestest friend. He kind of takes everyone's problems and he tries to solve them. He tries to fix everything, but he doesn't take enough time for himself, really. But he's a good guy. Justinian is, he's a guy who has a god and he takes powers from him. I don't know how magic works. It's crazy. But he's really good at healing people, and he's harsh, but he's usually right. It's not always fun when he's right. One of those people that you don't want to be right, even though he is.
Do you not have any magical powers of your own?
I mean, I do. They're mostly through this dagger, and from Xantris. I can change how I look, I can turn invisible, which is really cool, and I can make people do what I want sometimes.
Very nice. I'm just curious, since you got this dagger and since you've been adventuring, have you had any interesting encounters or interesting stories that you could recollect upon?
Oh my gosh, I have so many stories. So there was this, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. It was insane crazy and crazy in the brain. So there was this old lady, all right? And she was going door to door with her pastry cart. And at first I was like, oh, that's cool. I love pastries. Pastries are tasty and I love them. And then I saw that she sold a pastry to a family for their child. And I was kind of pretty weirded out by that. So I kind of approached her hey, you should give that child back because that's not very cool, stealing people's children. And then she turned out to be an evil hag witch lady. And after a bit of fighting, she eventually knocked me out. And then she took me to her windmill hideout, where she kept me in a cage, and apparently my friends had to collect a whole bunch of other children to free me, but then instead we ended up breaking me out and then murdering the hags because they were gross and evil.
There seems to be a lot of murder in your stories, my friend.
Yeah.
Murder is kind of common in the adventuring business.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes common. I didn't have to murder a whole lot. Mostly people did that for me, but
Ooh, that's
the
cool.
perks of being a noble.
Yeah, I sure do miss those days.
Speaking of missing, I need to ask a question. Seeing as you are a person of culture, maybe you have heard of the shaken milk.
Nope.
Every time!
The shaken milk?
Yes, I believe the common folk call it a milkshake, but it seems to be some kind of beverage that is made of milk and frozen cream.
Interesting. I haven't heard anything about that, but one of my party members, Robert Brownie Jr., he's a chef, and he makes brownies for us sometimes.
Brownies, those sound delicious.
They are. His dad is actually the person who first came up with this substance called baking powder, apparently.
Ooh,
It's
I haven't
crazy.
heard of baking powder before.
Yeah, it's used in baking, and it's
What?
like a powder.
What for?
I don't know, baking things? I'm not a chef.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
One
But
more question. How many people have you been with in the last, say, month?
Well, I've kind of been adventuring through an evil land of horrors and vampires, so nobody recently, sadly.
Ah, a shame, a shame. The pleasures of the flesh are often missed in adventuring when you're in unsavory situations.
Uh, although my friend Fedor did get sucked off by a vampire. That was pretty cool.
in which
Interesting.
way?
Oh, not the blood way.
Ah, are they a bard?
No, he's a magic man who does magic. I don't know how he does his magic. He doesn't read from a book like Philip does, and he doesn't use a god like Justinian. So, I don't know.
And what about you? How do
Maybe.
you normally fight?
Oh, I use this dagger and also a rapier. I like to poke and stab.
A person of culture, I see.
Yeah. I'm really
Rapiers
good
are-
at poking them in just the right spot, especially when they're distracted.
Yes. A rapier is quite a good weapon. It's my weapon of choice when I have to get up close and personal.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, though I'm a bard, so normally I like to stay in the back and convince others to do the work for me. Whether that
Oh, I
means
see.
using a crown of madness on them or not, that's questionable.
Yeah, one of my friends is a bard. That's Nalar. He's kinda weird sometimes. He has all these weird teeth in his mouth, and whenever he dies, he becomes a new race.
Oh, that's interesting. Is it a
Yeah.
curse or a blessing?
Kind of both, I think.
A being of eternity.
Yeah, I
sort of-
suppose so.
What sort of races has it become?
Right now, he's like this really big, hairy guy. But before that, he was like this snaky guy. And before that, he was like, I think he said he was like half angel, half human or something.
An Asimar, maybe?
Yeah, that's the word he used.
Yes. And before that, I believe they're called Yuan-Ti.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't met many snake people.
I haven't either, surprisingly enough.
Not yet, at
I've heard
least.
of them, though.
I mean, there are two like dragony folks right here. Don't those kind of count as snake people?
No, snakes are not related to dragons, I do not believe.
But they both have scales.
Airframe's a little
Well-
sensitive about that.
The snake people
Oh,
are
sorry.
way less social than we are.
Also, fish have scales, but fish aren't related to dragons.
They
Some
aren't?
fish have scale. No, the fish
What?
that have scales are not related to dragons.
That's crazy. What about the fish that like go pew? Can't aren't there like magic fish? I remember in a book I read there were magic fish that like breathed fire and they like flew out of the water and they were like ah.
Yes, the famous fire-breathing fish. They might be related.
Maybe they're a type of fish dragon. I've heard of aquatic
fragon?
dragons. Fragon. I like it.
Or maybe a dish.
Ooh, quite a dish, I must say. I do like to dish out some good gossip on things like this too, so I like that.
Speaking of gossip, is there anyone that you're interested there, Michael? Anyone from home? Anyone from your journeys?
Not really. I've never really, met the one, I guess. There were a few relationships back in Waterdeep, but they were mostly fleeting. Although I am trying to help out my buddy Elfer with his romantic troubles.
And what might those be?
Well, Philip, another member of our group, she's a wizard. She's like really into him. It's a little weird sometimes. She like used this like potion, I think, to make him love her. It was weird. And then there was this girl back in his hometown that he's really into. You know, I'm trying to be like telling him that he'll get back to her and like, you know, get to be with her maybe because he seems to really like her. And also Irina is very off the table. That's someone else he likes, Irina, but she's with Vasily, so kind of sad for my boy Elfer. But they're a really good couple, I think.
Does he have large horns?
No?
Because usually you could just show off your horns and compare them to the other male.
Wrong
To win
species.
the
Wrong
female.
species.
He's a human, or a half-elf, actually. And I think Vasily's a human. Yeah.
You said a potion that made them fall in love.
Yeah.
That's kind of cheating.
Yeah, I know, that's what I said. Oh my gosh. Philip's a weird lady. I'm pretty sure she's like getting help from a love goddess too, so it's kind of like double cheating.
That is definitely cheating. If only I would have something like that on my hands, maybe I would have not had one horrible relationship and instead had one good relationship. I don't really get into many relationships being mostly planned, but
Yeah, I can see how that would be limiting.
Although he does like to
Yes.
plant his seed.
I see what you did there.
I am disgusted.
So tell me, Michael, what is the goal of your current journey, and how did you go about joining your group?
It kind of started out as we were going into this land to see about helping the people because apparently they were like being oppressed and there was a curse on the land, and so we were originally coming in to like lift the curse. Well, that is still our goal. We have like two main ways that we think will lift the curse. Either break this crazy cycle of the evil lord falling in love with this lady and then the lady marrying his brother instead of him. So we either have to like convince him to not be in love with her anymore, or we have to murder him.
murder
So
is always
many-
an option.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Sounds like a heck of a love triangle.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So, just to backtrack a little bit, have you heard anything from what happened to your brother?
Yeah, he's pretty much just presumed dead. He's been gone for years.
I guess that's the risks of being an adventurer.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes you get to meet cool people like Jenny Greenteeth. She's a hag, but she's like green and she's fun. She sold us all kinds of magical things, like this book that writes down my dreams, and this spyglass. When I look through it, I see it's like raining and storming, even though it's not. She gave Nalar this weird stone that floats around his head. Oh, but she had to disappear because there are like evil people after her or us or something. Oh, that was a crazy situation. We told her all about how we were going to this place called the Amber Temple. Oh, and we showed her this magical artifact we found, and then she suddenly changed a lot, and she got she was almost like awestruck, and she was very surprised. And she said that we might be able to do it, and then she gave us a whole bunch of free magic stuff, and then disappeared.
But surely there has to be some kind of magical remedy to her condition.
Yeah. I hope Charlancy's okay, though. Oh, Charlancy is this cow that we gave her a while ago, this baby cow. It's really fluffy and cute. And she gave Charlancy wings, and Charlancy just kind of flies around now whenever she wants to. It's really cool.
Flying cows.
Uh-huh.
At least it's not when pigs fly yet. If pigs were flying, I would owe some people some favors.
That would be interesting.
I'm sure we could make some pigs fly.
Please don't. I don't want to have to repay my debts.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Oh my.
Don't make bets with the dragon. Even if you're highly intelligent or ascended, you still tend to lose.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Wait, okay. I actually didn't know that dragons spoke common. That's crazy.
We have many languages at our disposal.
I'm not actually talking to you. This is telepathic speech. I'm just moving my mouth because it seems more accommodating.
Oh, huh. That's weird.
So, Michael, tell us, how do you like to spend your free time?
Oh, well, I like to read. Reading is fun. I also like to kind of pull pranks on people sometimes. It's really silly. Like one time I put a dead body in one of my friend's sleeping bags with them, and then they woke up and they were really scared. And then there was this other time when we threw dead ravens down someone's chimney, and it was really funny. They were screaming so loud.
I once did something similar. I put a dead cow next to a sleeping female, but she was quite pleased to find the snack when she woke up.
Oh man. A very successful prank if I've ever heard one.
I don't know if that can be considered as a prank or an offering.
I mean, what Michael did was kind of sweet.
How is it sweet?
Well, you gave an offering?
But they didn't want it.
That's their problem.
You know what? You're right. Justinian's the weird one, not me. Yeah. Everybody wants dead bodies in their sleeping bags.
Well, you sound like you might be, but are you fun at parties?
I'm so much fun at parties. I'm the life of the party. I'm all dancing around, and I'm actually classically trained in dance,
What form?
Oh, like so many forms. I got the ballroom kablape and the dingbat dance.
How do you spell kablape?
How do you spell it? You don't just one does not simply spell kablape. This guy.
I'm going to say that it's spelled Kablate, just because it makes it simpler.
Yeah, but what? It ruins the. Oh my gosh.
I am a bit of a party pooper at times. You
Yeah.
can see I'm not very much one for being able to dance properly since I float.
Well,
But,
you can just do like air dances.
Yeah,
I remember there were some people that they got a special potion from an apothecary and they drank it and then they danced in the air.
yes. I would have to drink a potion as well to actually be able to fly. I can sadly only float about an inch off the ground.
Yeah,
Also
that would
very
be
fun
helpful.
for sneaking up on people because nobody hears you coming when you float, unless you're jingle-jangling around with too much equipment, but I've spooked many a people from sneaking up behind them, and
Oh man.
would you imagine how far they jumped out of their skin?
Whoa, that would have been so cool.
So, Michael, could you explain how a person performs this kablate within parenthesis ballroom?
Oh, okay. So you start out by kind of tippy tapping your feet to the beat, and then you start spinning. You slow at first, but then you speed up and up and up and up, and then eventually, when you're going really fast, you jump and you stop spinning and you pose. And if you don't fall over, then you start doing a little shimmy, where you step forward and back while moving your arms around from side to side. Then you strike another pose, this time grabbing the hand of your partner, and then you twirl them, and then they twirl you, and then you both jump 3 times, and then you repeat the whole thing.
Oh, this ritual is meant for some sort of summoning?
No, it's just for fun.
But why
Yeah.
why do you do this?
For
Well,
I think
For
they
fun,
do it
for enjoyment.
just enjoyment and to pass the time there, Ephraim.
mortals are interesting creatures. Being that I was once one, I can understand them. Well, actually, are dragons mortals, or are they considered above mortality?
If we are immortal until we are dead.
then I guess I'm immortal until I'm dead too.
And technically, yes.
A fun way to look at things. But, oh, speaking of dancing, do you happen to know the one known as the Macarena?
Yeah, I love the Macarena.
Ah, a person of culture. I love it.
Oh, I also like the Hokey Pokey. I wasn't trained in that one or the Macarena, like, professionally, but I do know how to do both.
I'm pretty sure I've heard Rue can dance the hokey pokey too.
So,
Put your
Mike,
left tentacle in, put your left tentacle out, put your left tentacle in, and shake it all about.
I don't have any tentacles.
Rue, I don't think we need a demonstration. We see you do it every night anyway. Michael, back to you, my friend. I want to
yeah.
ask, do you have any favorite quests or any favorite journeys you've been on?
Well, I think my favorite was probably when we went up this crazy magical mountain and we found the Mad Mage at the top of the mountain. He was this crazy wizard who had gone, like, insane from all of his magic, and also the evil vampire lord cursed him to be insane. And we cured him of his insanity, and it turned out he was a very well-known wizard by the name of Mergenstein. Yeah, Mergenstein. That sounds right.
Morgenstein, eh?
There might have been a D and a K in there somewhere. Mordenkainsten? Yeah, Mordenkainen.
What about that made it your favorite? It seems more
Well,
like a
he
pain
was-
in the ass.
It was a really tough fight. And Fedor was going crazy. He shot a fireball at a squirrel. It was so funny. And then after we cured him of his insanity, he invited us into his giant mansion for a fantastic feast.
Ah, feasts are quite nice.
Yeah, he had waffles.
What is a waffle?
It's kind of like this cake that it's in a small circle, and you pour the sweet syrup on it, and then you eat it. Mmm. Yummy in my tummy. Truly tastes delicious.
All right, Michael, I believe that might be all the time we have for today. Are there anything else that you think would be interesting to share?
One thing that was kind of interesting, we went into this werewolf den, and there was the alpha was like a meanie pants, and we didn't want him to be the alpha, or someone else didn't want him to be the alpha. And so we made one of our friends, Robert Brownie, a werewolf, and sent him in to go fight the guy. And he kind of lost, but then someone else fought the alpha, and they won. But someone in our group used attack magic on him in the middle of the fight. So it was a whole crazy thing, and I stole a whole bunch of stuff from their shrine. So I got a whole bunch of cool money. And I got this awesome gold cloak.
So many questions.
Yeah.
If I may ask a few, how come you chose Robert Brownie, and how did you make them into a werewolf to fight the alpha?
Oh, well, the werewolf that wanted the alpha gone made him into a werewolf, and we chose him because he's really good at hand-to-hand fighting. He punches people all the time, and he can get really angry sometimes too, and when he does that, he's a better fighter.
So like a barbarian.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what that word means.
So it's one who fights usually with either a large weapon or using their rage. Barbarians are quite interesting to watch at work sometimes, because one moment they'll be calm and collected, and the next they're so angry that you can barely hurt them with normal weapons.
Yeah. I think he said he's a monk,
Oh, a monk.
and he does also go crazy, so I don't know how that works. This crazy guy.
So how come the werewolf did not want the alpha to be the alpha?
Because he was corrupting the old ways or something. I don't know. I didn't really listen to their lecture on werewolf politics. I'm not a nerd.
I believe my last question will be, does your cloak do anything? Does it have any medical
the gold-
properties?
The golden cloak?
Yes.
No, but it looks really cool. But I do have this other cloak that makes me much better at hiding.
How much gold have you made during your travels?
Oh my. Well, don't tell my group, but the amount of money I have right now, I have 111 gold, 58 silver, and 137 copper. But then if you count all of the things I have that I could sell, I have the golden cloak, I have a whole bunch of other things too. It's crazy.
Don't spend it all in one place, my friend. Well, Michael, we thank you for joining us today on Delegations of Dreamers, and we hope you have a good rest.
Oh yeah, thanks, you too. I mean,
Oh, well.
Yeah, we'll send you off to your next dream.
Fear not.
alright. Bye.
We just want to give a big thank you to Michael Scarn for interviewing with us, Stereo Radio VA for the intro, Sage Sounds for the intro music, Azio Mecha for the awesome character art, and Azio for our amazing logo. We deeply appreciate what you guys have done for us in putting up with all of our requests and changes. We couldn't have done it without you. Links to their items are listed in the description down below, and to you, our viewers, for listening until the end and enjoying their stories. We will be back next Saturday with another interview. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to list them below and we will do our best to answer them at the end of the next interview. Until then, have a good awakening.